Yeah, so I'm listening to Mozart, right, and Bach,
Yeah,
and I
incredible.
am something about this music that's incredible. This period and like European like
Yeah,
orchestra music, and it's
classical era.
it's amazing. Bach, Mozart, Beethoven.
Yeah,
These names are
big.
synonymous. Some really like, low-key ones are Henry Purcell. I love this one track.
His
Vivaldi, right?
Vivaldi, the violin work. Vivaldi
No,
is
it's just
oh.
stunning how they captured emotion in music. But I have to tell you, man, what's your favorite Mozart piece of music? Like, what for you? What
Um,
what what is it?
for me, I've been listening to a lot of the operas. You know, I would say like as far as a piece, I love the Requiem Mass. That's metal. It's dark.
Yes,
But I gotta say, Marriage of Figaro, Don Giovanni, and the Magic Flute, or like
these are classic. See,
those are the
I'm more a
classics.
fan of the symphonies. Like, I love
Right,
the
right,
operas.
right.
Don't get me wrong,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
dude. Symphony number 40. All right.
yeah,
Na 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 na.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
dude, man, dude, that's like, dude, I know, for your viewers out there, kids, you should not be watching this show because we curse and all that. But dude, that's musical orgasm, man. Who needs
Oh
a
yeah.
girl? This is a controversial thing. Who needs a girl when you just have that music, man? Like,
Or Bach's Brandenburg and
oh,
Concerto.
dude, that
I mean,
song.
I mean, it's
Dude, I
brilliant.
mean, and again, like, we're gonna be pulling a lot of strings here on this episode because we are gonna now. What are we gonna talk about, Cheese? We're gonna
We're
open up the
we're
true crime books, and what are we doing?
This is a true crime series on who killed Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
And no, it was not Falco.
It was, it was no, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, remember
yo,
that?
here we go.
All right.
Go ahead, Cheech.
All right. How's everybody doing? This is Cheech from the Cheech and Manny Show, and we have a great show tonight, and it is a true crime, but it's a different one. We want to investigate
Before I let you
who,
continue, we had to pop up our a very dusty book. We're going back in the
yes,
case files.
going way back.
We're going to the 17th, 18th century, 17th century.
1790 is when he passed away. So we're talking his prime was like late 1760,
Mhm.
1770 to like
Yeah,
1790 to 20. 'Cause he was 32 years
I
old.
think
So
it
what
was
am I talking about?
created in 1780s, like in that. It's
Yeah,
something 17.
he was
And I
32.
mentioned that I've been having this, but I have a bio of Mozart here. Mozart, a
Oh,
life.
that's
I got
amazing.
Mozart by. Don't you dare laugh at this, by Peter Gay.
Okay.
So Mr.
All right.
Gay wrote this wonderful book here.
How
Uh,
old is it? I'm just curious. From the
so what's
80s?
funny? It belongs. Now if they're not watching this, I found it at my school, and I took
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
technically stole it, but it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
in a closet, and I'm like, oh, Mozart, and you can see I
Interesting.
started to read it, and
Yeah.
fantastic, but definitely like the guy, Mr. Gay. Mr. Gay is professor emeritus at history at Yale University.
Oh, there's no joke.
So
This
Mr.
this
Gay is,
Mr. Gay knows his shit. Fine on that one. You know. So we're gonna do a deep dive on a murder mystery, and this is a true crime of who killed Mozart.
who
Who?
killed Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart?
Yeah. Or let's say not say who killed. How did he die? That's a better question because there's a lot of
But let me tell you though, because I think the question should be who killed him. Because remember how he said so was it the music that killed him, for example? Like what killed him? And let me tell you something. So again, this is Yale history right here.
yeah.
Um, I was reading a part, and obviously I just started this book. And by the way, for our audience out there, like we have been talking about Amadeus Mozart for years. Like it's one of
Oh
our
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's passed.
it's one of our metal table conversations, and both our
Yeah.
also our obsession with one of the greatest movies
Ever, ever
Amadeus.
written.
It is a must watch if you're a music fan,
Yeah.
Salieri fan, Mozart fan, movie fan.
And if
It
you
is
want to learn about classical music,
it,
it's definitely going to
it,
teach you
it is
about
immaculate.
Mozart's music. Yeah.
But let me read you this part here. So
Yeah.
the last year of Mozart's life has often been described as one long preparation for death. And
Really?
that's the author, by the way, of this book. And just to read a little bit more.
It's interesting.
But in that time, Mozart wrote two operas, a piano concerto, a large number of I think I'm pronouncing
Minuets. Minuets.
minuets and concert dances, a clarinet concerto, a Masonic cantata,
Yeah.
two quintets, and most of the requiem. His creativity was still working at full speed. Now, what's really mysterious, though, and there's another part in the book that talked about how the doctors were kind of perplexed what was up with this rapid decline in his health.
Yeah.
And it's been, in a way, some people thought it's been like, like food poisoning, or
Mm-hmm.
was it because of the stress of his, we just talked about Jaco
The
Pastorius and
story.
his like,
Yeah.
bipolar. Now, I'm not saying that he had bipolar,
Oh,
but
Mozart had something wrong with him mentally. I mean, because if you look at the movie, if they go by public records or um go down the history and find things, he was nuts. If
Mhm.
the movie depicted him as crazy, now we'll never know. And like a fun kind of crazy, but I think he had some issues probably, with
Yeah.
like being hyperactive, you know. Um I think a lot of these guys needed Ritalin because they were writing so much they couldn't stop. You know what I mean? Like they had this hyperactivity in the
Mhm.
brain. They couldn't stop writing. And these guys wrote for days. They'd sit in a room and just write and write and write and write and compose.
Yeah, and I think the movie demonstrates, like, if I can, like, he's the way he writes, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. They're locked behind the rooms, and they're going crazy, like, writing, and like no one can
Yeah.
disturb them. And it's sort of
Yeah.
like you look at them and like, what is wrong with you? And
Yeah.
that's like the genius, the creative juice is flowing, and it's like
Yeah.
the movie shows you that. Uh
But it also, like Nietzsche, could make you go mad.
yep, yep. Creativity, I
You
think that
know?
can lead to madness.
Oh yeah, and it does happen to so many people. I mean,
No,
uh,
and I bring this up because it is strange because it, he had this rapid decline in health,
mhm.
and that's the mystery. What happened? We
Yeah,
go from a full-blooded, he was on a roll. I mean, I, I just mentioned all the what he did here, and
well,
just
he never stopped. Leopold, his
no.
father, was
And,
was
no, before just this last line,
yeah.
Mozart's terminal illness, however, complicated by psychological malaise, was a physical disease, an attack of acute rheumatic fever. There has been
That's
much
a theory. It's a
Right.
theory. Yeah,
There has been as much controversy about Mozart's death as there has been about many aspects of his life. But
yeah,
scholars, and again, you're going to go against the scholars, just a little preview here, but scholars have
yeah,
arrived at a consensus that Mozart had suffered several episodes of rheumatic fever, or rheumatic fever in earlier years, and that his last disease was a recurrence. And so rapid a slide from health to death was no rarity in Mozart's age, but his very prominence, and again, his fame stimulated
yeah.
fantasies among conspiracy theorists. And again,
Yeah.
Zeph is going to be talking
Well,
more detail about that.
rheumatic fever does make sense because he had it his whole life as a child, so it could have caught up with him when he was 32. And there's some other illnesses that I'm going to throw out there that I studied. But you got to remember Leopold, his father, who was a great composer too, not like a son, but made
He was considered one of the greatest violin teachers.
oh
He
yeah,
wrote a
yeah.
book. By the way, I just learned that, and it's really good, by Peter Gay, Mozart. Like, I know.
He's a gay.
Read Gay's book. Read Gay's book.
Yeah.
It's
And
actually
he
really good, though. On a serious note, like, it's actually
oh yeah.
I just
And
discovered it. And there's a lot of biographies on Mozart.
Oh yeah, I've read a ton of them.
But and I will tell you, but the famous thing in the movie, kind of like I love the movie because it's so dramatic. Um,
Mhm.
and I love it. I'll probably be talking about it because I could write a dissertation on that movie's like psychological meaning
Oh yeah.
and like this idea of envy and
Oh,
religiosity and
so much in there. There's so much.
genius. I love the portrayal of Mozart. He's portrayed as a sort of like kind of like like jester character, farting and like
Like
burping and like
yeah,
giving no
partying.
F's. And
Yeah,
yet this and meanwhile Salieri very well dressed, esteemed, and
oh yeah.
very proper. And he's looking at
A
this
little repulsed by him. You know what I mean?
right dude has a hot, wife. I mean, he
Yeah.
has it all. Like
He has it all. Yeah. And he always lived in the shadow, I think, of his dad. He wanted to make his dad proud. You know, imagine that being a genius, and you want to show your dad,
well,
look,
he was a child prodigy and his dad showed him off.
oh, he showed him off.
They
That's how he got the rep.
in his
Yeah,
earlier life, and I think you know this.
yeah,
They would, how rock bands go on tours and never go
yeah,
back to Salzburg.
yeah,
He
yeah,
went
yeah.
on this tour that lasted years.
From when he was 7
How
until he came to
crazy is it?
Vienna.
And during that time, he was now beginning like and by the way, he had a sister that was also a master. I think it was harpsichord player.
Right.
Also, but yeah, the man, was a musician. But what's really unique about Mozart was his talent because
Yeah,
there was really nothing like it. And it's said that just based on that book, like people watched him like, whoa. And
yeah.
even the famous poet Goethe, or Goethe, I mean, I don't know if you know him, who wrote, do you know the
I
poet Goethe?
heard of him. I heard of him, but I don't know. I'm
So
not
even
familiar
he
with his.
remarked that Mozart is remarkable. Like,
Oh yeah. I mean, it's been said, in the movie, I think it was Salieri said it, and writers, it's God playing through him, creating the music. It's coming from a higher power. It's almost like he's an
and you
instrument.
hear it. Symphony number 40, Jupiter Symphony. I mean,
Yeah,
this
Jupiter
dude,
Symphony. Yeah.
he's able to tap into the soul that man, like I'll be honest, with you, Bach was also another one. Bach was
Oh, the Almighty
this,
Bach. Yeah, yeah.
and Handel. I mean, we're talking about this.
But Bach wrote mainly for the church. That
Right,
was like
right,
his thing. These guys wrote um for themselves, but they were writing for the kings and the emperors.
right,
Like Emperor Joseph, they would have to
right.
compose for him.
That's a
You
great
know,
point, and that's a great point because Bach at the time was 100%. He's writing church music,
yeah,
obviously a master of the organ, found in churches.
chorale style
He got paid
vocals,
by the
things like that.
church to
Yeah,
play
yeah,
music for the mass, right? So
yeah.
that would make sense. But Mozart, and I love what you said there because what makes him different though is that he is not making music for religious purposes. This is
No,
music from like his mind. And
yeah,
in the movie, one of my favorite scenes is, you see Mozart, sickly and Salieri, and what a great thing, right? Like them
yeah,
collaborating, and
yeah,
he's
yeah.
trying to keep up. And he goes, no, no, no. He's like, I'm making this up. No, it's no, no. There's these type of notes and four, five. Da, da, da. He's like, I know, hurry, like
Yeah, yeah,
duh.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, and he's trying to keep
And
up.
he hears it. He's composing, and he hears it
It
in
is
his head.
remarkable, and
And I love the part when for
he's
the
like
mag.
time, and he's like time. People, get this down. Done, done. Like, and he's like composing sickly, dude.
Yeah,
By the way, I'm not a musician, but those sounds coming from his head, that is insane. Like
talk
that
about
is
earworms.
music of the soul.
Oh yeah, and there's a scene in the movie where what is it, the vibrato. The guy wanted the music for the magic flute, and he's like, we need the music, and he's like, where is it? And he's like, either fucking drunk or just out of. He's like, it's in my noodle. It's up here.
Yeah,
He's like,
he's such
it's up
it's so
here.
great. It's such another funny one.
And then the guy grabs him and said, you better give me
Yeah.
the music, yeah.
You know what's remind me? There was another movie, there's a little connection here. Have you seen the movie Shakespeare in Love?
Oh, years ago. Yeah, who
Let
was
me
who was in that?
Let me tell you, you need to watch this because I know you would appreciate it. Shakespeare is another genius,
Oh
like
yeah.
Mozart, who is
Hmm.
talented, right? Has a
Yeah.
love of the ladies, loves to
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because the guy's like, Mozart, where is my play that you promised? And he's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
got it, it's in here, just relax." And meanwhile, he's making Romeo and Juliet, but he's promising another type of play, a comedy, for this guy. And he's
Yeah.
like, "This ain't a comedy. What is this?" Like, and there's a similar experience with Mozart because he's making all this, like, he's such a
Yeah. Yeah.
genius,
Oh
and
yeah.
he's making all these, and in the movie it shows him making the magic flute, the opera,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and
It's so Magic Flute is she. I'm gonna and I break that down in this
but
episode. I get
okay,
into it.
but I guess like going coming back from the clouds to life here in real life. So
Yeah.
the debate is what killed Mozart, though. Like
Yeah.
the popular
That's
theory, conspiracy theory, is Salieri killed him, as also shown in the movie.
yeah. And that we'll
And
talk
even the
about that.
movie was kind of ambiguous, though. We're not really sure.
No, because he was never convicted. Well, he winds up in a mental hospital, but he was never convicted of anything after Mozart died. And from doing a lot of research, they were friends. But I don't know if he was friends with him out of envy and jealousy to
Hmm.
try to get him down. Um, um, he did teach his son. He taught Mozart's son music. They would hang out and go to the opera together. I'm gonna get all into it. I have like a little outline, and I
Hmm.
want to take it step by step.
There.
So let me see. Let's start off. So the question is, how did Mozart die? And I have, a couple ideas. Sickness, poison, murder, natural causes, some people say, or the Freemason. Now, sickness comes up. They say some people say he died from food poisoning. A parasite infected him, and the doctor did an aggressive bloodletting, removing 2 liters of blood that caused. Maybe you can help me with this word. Hypovolemic hyperpolemic shock.
Hyper hyper.
Hyperpolemic shock.
Okay.
Um, in combination with a vitamin D deficiency that was devastating to his immune system. And having a low immune system because he had rheumatic fever his whole life
Hmm.
could have killed him. So the food poisoning could have triggered the rheumatic fever to come back, or scarlet fever, and cause him to die. That's one rumor, all starting from food poisoning. So it was a trickle effect that the food poisoning was a parasite that infected him. The guy already had a horrible immune system. They did this horrible bloodletting thing. This is all documented. And he went into this shock, and it was a combination of he had a very low vitamin D deficiency because he was really pale, supposedly,
Hmm.
ghost. And he might have had rheumatic. I don't think rheumatic fever goes away. I think you have it, like it stays in you, and it's like what is that word when something like just stays with you but it doesn't, like remission. It was like
Hmm.
in remission maybe. I'm not a doctor, I don't know, but I think that's what that could have been. So those are the medical um theories.
Hmm.
What do you think of that? Do you think rheumatic fever could have done him in through going through food
Well,
poisoning?
if you want the clearest explanation, and obviously because of the evidence, right? Because
Yeah,
historians go for evidence.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, and especially because at that time it's common. I mean,
Oh yeah,
dude,
yeah.
food poisoning was a killer, man. Like,
Oh yeah.
whatever. Or even if you had that room, that type of fever, it would make sense.
And he's 32 when he dies, and that 32 is really like 52.
Mhm.
You're not,
Right, right.
when you're 32 in 1790, your body is more aged. Like like a 42-year-old
Yeah,
or a 52-year-old. So he was young, but it's not like a 32. It's not like a guy your age. You
right,
know what I
right.
mean? He was definitely worn from because people died. Women were pumping out kids at 15, and that was the norm. And by the time they're 25, they're an old lady. They looked horrible. By 30, they looked like they had
Yeah,
white hair and stuff like
yeah,
that. The average age probably was 50. I would guess, right? Maybe 60
yeah,
in
yeah.
1790.
And also, kids. A lot of families expect the kids to die off.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like they didn't expect
Well,
the life expectancy was so low.
yeah, and women died during childbirth like constantly. That was another issue,
Mhm.
you know. So that makes, it not a murder mystery, but it makes it just a you know, natural way to die in those days. And a lot of people died that way of rheumatic fever. It's
Mhm.
really it's a strep, that you get. And it attacks your body. And if you're like Mozart, who traveled a lot, probably didn't get enough rest, drank a lot, constantly wrote,
Mhm.
probably didn't sleep. So logically, that makes enough sense, but that just makes the story boring. And it's like, okay, that he died of a disease. That's it. That's how Mozart died. Goodbye, everybody.
Right.
No, that's boring. I need to know more. I need to investigate more from being obsessed with the movie. Now, enter Salieri, and I love Salieri. I mean, I got some really cool shit on Salieri, man. Like, I mean, I when I was in college, I got on a Salieri kick because my teacher was a like this gay guy. He was and actually my teacher was, I
Mr.
think,
Gay?
I think my teacher was, gay. Not saying it's a bad thing, but um he was very flamboyant. Great guy, Dr. Rayburn. I learned everything. The guy was a fucking genius,
That's cool,
he
man.
had, I had a Megadeth shirt on, Peace Sells, but who's dying. And he's like, that is so cool. And this guy was like 70 something. And he was like, I love that shirt. He's like, could you bring me, I want to hear that music. Could you play, can you bring it in and let me hear it?
He wasn't hitting on you?
Maybe. Um, but, and I'm like, I'll do it, but you got to do me a favor. See that piano? You got to rock me out some Rachmaninoff. He's like, Rachmaninoff. He's like, really? So he's a jukebox. The guy would play
That's cool, man.
Chopin, and they would tell me, well, when you do Chopin, you have to do this with this kind of essence with your finger. You play with your fingertips, and you got to lightly touch the piano, opposed to, you know, people like Liszt that pounded the piano. And I'm like, fuck, this guy is like a fucking genius. But his specialty was Amadeus. And we watched the movie in class. We watched documentaries on Mozart, and we talked a lot about him. So Salieri came up a lot, and I got to hear his work. I took a bunch of albums from this guy. He let me borrow them, and I taped them back then. We would tape. I wonder if there's any Salieri now on Spotify. I wonder any
Most likely.
downloads.
Most likely.
People are downloading them. Um, so Antonio Salieri was a classical composer in the court of Emperor Joseph. He was a very important man. He was called the Capell Master. He was the head composer and musical director. Now listen to this, for decades. So he had years over Mozart.
Hmm.
If Mozart was 32, I think Salieri might have been 52
Mm.
or 42, you know. Um I he was an accomplished composer, composed over 40 operas written for Emperor Joseph. I'm not even going to attempt to say their names because I'll make a fool of myself. He managed the court theater. He was the supervisor. Um, and he would work with the singers in the operas to make sure they got their parts down. He worked with the budget, and he selected the repertoire of what they were going to sing. So he would write the opera. Whatever Emperor Joseph said, I would like something medieval. I would like something Greek. Whatever topic he would write it, or he would just write what he wrote. And he was the man. He was the dude in Vienna, Salieri. He was that guy. Then here comes this dude who is building a massive reputation
Mm.
all over Europe to Vienna, Mozart. And they meet in 1780, and he knew who Mozart was. He admired him. The more he got to see him play, the more he got to watch him, compose and then conduct. He was fueling a fire of jealousy. This guy was like, people aren't talking about me anymore. They're talking about Mozart.
And that's true.
This is
That's
factual.
not based on the movie.
This isn't based on the movie. This is written in books.
And as a little connection, for those of viewers that watch the movie, you see this in when that priest character, you first meet Salieri. I just laugh because it's one of the most fun. The movie is so, I love the movie so much. It's so funny.
Genius.
Salieri is like, he's in the mental hospital. He's all decrepit.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know me, I'm Salieri. And the priest was like, put me one of your pieces. Or what? I don't know. Okay, you know this one. He plays one of his pieces. I don't really know that one. But what about this one? Din, 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 din. He gets excited. Yes, yes, you did that one. That was Mozart.
Yeah,
And like it starts to tell, and it's
he
funny
gets
because most people don't know any Salieri pieces, but they do
oh,
know that piece from one of
yeah,
his I'm not sure if it was operas, but one of his like grand symphonic pieces.
yeah. You're talking about Salieri.
The famous da na 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 na
Yeah,
na
yeah, 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 yeah.
na na na
Yeah,
da 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 da.
yeah.
Then even I know. Look how ingrained is it? Like,
It's in our DNA from hearing it in
and poor Salieri,
commercials.
no one knows a piece from him.
No, no, nobody knows anything. Um, so he meets Mozart in 1980, in 1780, and they kind of have this competition, and they're friends at the same time. It's kind of like you have a friend, but you dislike him because you're so envious and jealous because you know this man is beyond human,
Yeah.
and he wanted to be like him, you know. Um, so wait, where am I? So Emperor Joseph loved Mozart. He, but he found him very difficult. He found them difficult to work with because Mozart wasn't going to have it. It was his way. Joseph wanted some things in the music, and Mozart was like, "Nope, I'm not doing it." And if you disobeyed the emperor, he could have you killed. They killed musicians for
Yeah,
back
it
in the
was,
day.
yeah, upsetting the
You know,
emperor.
yeah, but because he knew the man had so much talent, he let him get away with it. But the main problem was Salieri was in charge of the operas, and it was opera seasonal. So there was like, it's like in the fall and the spring. So they were coming up on, some operas, and they had a debate over should it be sung in Italian or German. And the emperor said, you know, what do you think, Salieri? Because he always went to Salieri, and Salieri being Italian said that's the language of romance. And Mozart's like, no, it has to be German. This is all in the movie and stuff. So that was always a problem that Salieri had against Mozart when writing operas. But like I said, they were friends, and they did, believe it or not, the emperor said, I want to see what you two could do together. They wrote an opera together. This is a crazy story.
Hmm.
Um, So at some point, I don't know the year, and I'm gonna try to say this Perlaciuperatu Perla Repucaputa Saluta Delafonula. That was the opera that they wrote and they performed together in the Emperor's court. Now, this music score was lost for 200 years. It was a myth. People believed it didn't exist. Music scholars and musicologists said no, you know, Salieri never wrote anything with them. That wouldn't have happened. They were egomaniacs. They were against
Hmm.
each other. But a guy named I'm sorry, Tim Herman was in Prague in a music library and he found the score. He analyzed it, he played it, he proved it. He took Salieri's notation and he took Amadeus's notation and he proved that they actually did an opera together. This was like a big deal. This is like in the 19th century when this happened, you know.
Right.
So they actually worked together. So did they work together because Emperor Joseph said you have to work together? Or were they friends and they said, hey, let's write a piece together? That you'll never know. I think the emperor said, you guys, what could one genius and a good musician come up with? Um, so, they did that, but as time went on, Salieri got more and more jealous and rage built up for him because there was like no need for Salieri anymore. His job was taken over by Mozart. Um, so when Amadeus died, nobody thought he killed him. They didn't go to Salieri. Going back to how he died, let's say what do we call it? What was the thing called?
Oh, like rheumatoid fever? Rheumatoid?
Not like arthritis,
No, no,
rheumatic,
no.
rheumatic,
Rheumatic.
rheumatic. So let's
Rheumatic.
just say rheumatic fever. Let's just say I'm gonna call him tomorrow. I got rheumatic fever. I'll be out for a couple of days
You're gonna the
at
guys.
the
You know how
temple.
the guy. You know you call out, and then the person's like, "Do you have any sign of foodborne illness? No. Do you have rheumatic fever? Yes."
Yeah, right. Um, I don't even know if people still get that. Um, so Salieri wasn't even a suspect when he died. Did that really happen when Mozart was on his deathbed in the movie? Was that like a Tarantino thing? As cool as we want it to be? Did that, you know what I mean? So we don't know. We don't know if he
You know, it's funny.
dictated
The
music.
movie's a little ambiguous, though. Like it does set up. He might have done it, right? Especially because he also dresses up. Remember how he dresses up as like one of that like echoing.
Well, when Leopold died, he scared Mozart that was the ghost. He wanted a requiem mass for his father.
Right,
And Mozart was a little like nuts. I would have been like, take the fucking mask off. My father's dead, but he was scared. Back then they were superstitious,
right.
and the father maybe came back from the dead. So he scared him. And you knew that was Salieri under the mask. Um, so not even a sign that he killed them. So many years later, Salieri has a breakdown, a mental breakdown, tries to commit suicide. He's
Yeah,
institutionalized for
and
many
that's the
years.
movie. That's where the movie starts.
Yeah, this is real. This
Yeah,
is like this
yeah,
has really happened.
yeah.
So why did Salieri have a breakdown? It had to be because of Mozart. It had to be because somebody took your fire away, you know? It's like if Pottersfield kicked me out and got a new bass player who was like the talk of the town, you're gonna have this like anger or you're gonna have this like depression and stuff. So He goes to a mental institution and tries to kill himself and stays in there for many years. He must have lived pretty long. And on his deathbed, he has said that he poisoned Mozart. This is a fact. This is factual. But some say he was nearing dementia. He was old. He didn't know what he was talking about. I don't know if they're trying to protect him. These are what some scholars are saying. How do you feel about everything I'm saying so far?
So, and it's funny because historians and even this book, just skipping ahead a little bit, but by Mr. Gay here, he says that if anyone did kill Mozart, it was his physicians. Because back in the day, doctors,
Right.
it's like today's medicine or whatever. But what's fascinating also that Salieri was really hurt by these, also according to him, these theories that
Yeah.
I killed Mozart, and and it's like, I think a lot of people knew of the envy he had. I mean, I don't think it was like, I don't think it was a secret.
No, I think people knew, but he hid it. He knew he wanted to be his friend. It's like you like somebody, but deep down you hate them, but you need
Right.
to be around them. It was almost like a stalker. You know what I mean? Like this guy's a genius. Why, when he says to Gracias, Signori, like why? Why through this gaggling buffoon type of guy? Why not me?
Right.
And then there's a scene where he starts laughing at this crazy laugh. So Salieri's very serious about his music and well liked, and it's gone. It's taken from him by this rock star. David Lee Roth walks into Vienna, man, and in the like 1780s, and Salieri is like at the end of his wits. Like even Emperor Joseph didn't even like want his work anymore. When Salieri would do an orchestra show or an opera, the house was half empty. When Mozart played,
Yeah.
it
And
was
again,
genius.
right.
It was packed. So I'm leaning that maybe Salieri felt guilt that, like you said, people thought he.
So yeah, so Salieri, I mean, did he kill Mozart? I mean, it's hard to not see how he could have, right? Because it's crazy because he was, but I will say what the author makes a point here. It also he was operating like he was waiting for his death, like time's running out or something, right?
Well, Mozart knew he was going to die at some point. He had that. Ronnie Van Zant from Skinner, had the same thing. At 27, he knew he was going to die. Geniuses kind of know that, But uh, why did Salieri try to commit suicide? This is real. That's documented. Why did he? Was it the guilt of people saying that he had something to do with Mozart's death and he didn't want that reputation? You know, or what? Or is it that he really did it and he poisoned them and Salieri couldn't live with that being a religious guy, wanted to take his own life.
Right, right. Because think about killing a man and then that guilt. It's like very Edgar Allan Poe-esque.
And then killing a genius. This was, you got to think about it. In that time, 1780s, I mean, there were so many, Handel, Haydn, Joseph Haydn, there were so many great composers, but a genius like Mozart, there wasn't one until many years later, well, a couple years later, maybe when early Beethoven. Sometimes Beethoven dips into the classical period, early Beethoven, but 100 years before Mozart was Bach, so there wasn't a genius on realistically since Bach. Some people would argue with me, but there was no Mozart at that time. He comes in playing guitar like Eddie Van Halen, and Salieri's like, I don't know, um, Angus Young, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, that, to put it in rock and roll
Right,
terms,
right, right.
and you're like, whoa,
Well,
how do you do
Salieri, I think, I'll be honest with you, I think there was a lot, probably a lot of guitarists envious of Eddie Van Halen, or even like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
because a lot of the guitarists, they're looking Van Halen. Van Halen is like Mozart. And by the way, Amadeus, it has a
yeah,
weird,
yeah. His son is Wolfgang. He named him
right,
after.
right. And think about it, the band is goofy. Roth is
Yeah,
like, sing
they,
about like, dumb topics.
they
Me-
are the.
Meanwhile, they are the greatest rock and roll band. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That
and in Eddie Van Halen, like he becomes one of the greatest guitar players, almost matching Hendrix. I mean, just really
yeah,
think about that.
yeah, yeah.
Envy,
But I
man.
think guitar players were more inspired by Van Halen. Other composers eventually became inspired by Mozart. Mozart, the thing about these guys, the misconception, and I learned this in college, when Mozart was popular, it wasn't like now. Like if Jimi Hendrix came out and we were alive in the 60s, he was popular. People in Germany and other places, like I don't know, where they would travel to in the 1700s, Italy, France, they knew of Mozart. They knew his reputation, but it wasn't like Led Zeppelin when they came out. Mozart had to build on his reputation through decades and decades of people playing his music. Then maybe 30, 40 years later, they're like, this guy's a genius. He wasn't automatically thought of being Mozart at that time. Does that make sense? Like, there was no vehicle like a reel like you can watch today and see somebody that's great or MTV.
No, no, it
It
makes
was it
total
was on
sense.
reputation, you
No,
know?
he had the reputation in the high Vienna circles, right? Like the high people
Yeah,
that paid him to make all this stuff. And so, like when they would see these compositions,
yeah,
like
yeah,
someone like Salieri, who also was paid by people to make stuff, would be like, "Wait, you made this, and you
yeah.
barely, and you didn't go to like a fancy school?"
Say that again, because I froze up, I think.
Yeah. So it's like, it's like Salieri and all these composers will look at like someone like Mozart and be like, "You made this," and
Yeah,
wow, okay. But you're right. These compositions would like then be played again and again, and then be like, "Who composed this?" It's by Mozart.
yeah, yeah.
This is an opera by Mozart.
And it,
It's just funny because Salieri and
and it took it.
this was exaggeration, but Salieri would take 10 years to make an opera. Mozart would take only like 2 nights. You good?
Wait, I think am I freezing up? Am I freezing up?
No, you're good.
No, okay, okay, okay.
You good?
But my point I'm trying to make is I think yeah, 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 yeah. They weren't as popular as we think they were at that time. That came through the years, you know. So I don't know on the Salieri thing, the fact that he tried to kill himself and he confessed that he poisoned Mozart.
Kind
Why?
of weird,
Why?
right? I
Why would he
mean,
say that?
I know. And I'll be honest with you, like, I know it's controversial, but I never, historians always want evidence. And when I say evidence, they want
Yeah,
concrete or like they based on the evidence, right? And like evidence from that
yeah,
time will say that, yeah, a lot of people died. I mean, it makes sense. Doctors,
yeah,
physicians
yeah.
bled people out, like that they thought putting
Oh
leeches
yeah,
was a
yeah, yeah.
cure, or whatever. Um,
Oh yeah, reaches. Yeah.
yeah, that was a weird practice. But what's strange is Salieri's condition. Why, if you didn't do it, why would you? Even if people accuse you, hey, you killed Mozart. Imagine if Salieri was smart, like, yeah, I'm the one that killed Mozart, like, or use that to his advantage, right?
Yeah,
Um,
right.
but even
But
then, like,
he wasn't convicted. He wasn't
right,
even thought of
it,
because
it is
they thought
it
he
it is a
died.
big mystery,
Um,
and the movie based on the play sheds light on that. And the play was written in the
yeah,
1800s, I believe, and like 100 years after. So not, even though that seems like far.
yeah. The play on and I have my notes on that. Actually, my next thing I was going to bring up. Alex. So let me see. Alexander Duskin in 1830 wrote a play, Mozart and Salieri, and this popularized the Salieri killing of Mozart. So now, almost not quite 100 years later, but like 40 years later, this comes out in a play. Now, people are thinking, wait a second, this is real. This is in a play. He's like the Tarantino. He's telling you Salieri killed Mozart. So that theory becomes international. They didn't have the web. They didn't have cell phones. This is all word of mouth. Salieri killed Mozart in Italy, in the Netherlands. It's spreading. The play's on tour. If it's a play that's saying this, he must have done it. Salieri killed Mozart. It's in the play. It's got to be the truth. So that added to the rumors that he did it. So add the play in the mix, add Salieri confessing that he poisoned Mozart, tries to kill himself. He's envious of the guy while he's with them. People see it, people feel it. His popularity goes down. He has every right in his mind to want to hurt the guy, right? You're angry. I'm Salieri. I'm Emperor Joseph's main fucking guy in the opera house. I'm doing all this shit. And here comes this guy who has so much talent from God. And I'm sinking. I can't even get a gig anymore. I can't write for anybody. So it makes sense. I think it makes sense Salieri would have killed him, you know. But that's just one theory. So far we have sickness versus Salieri.
Hmm.
Where are we going with this? Where are we leading? What do you think so
I
far? Because I got a couple.
Salieri. I know we're gonna anger historians, but I don't know. It would make sense to take him out before he's creating more, and replacing certain members of music geniuses at the time, which Mozart
Yeah,
was doing. I mean,
and being poisoned could be rheumatic fever too. You could be poisoned, and
right.
they don't know. They didn't have MRIs. They didn't have micros. Did Galileo invent a microscope where they could look at cells and figure you have
Mm-hmm.
rheumatic fever in 1700? I doubt that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is all gets guesswork. How did they even know what rheumatic fever is or strep? How did they know? So he could
Yeah.
have been fucking poisoned at the time. They're
Yeah.
guessing maybe because rheumatic fever is going around. A bunch of people are getting it. Guys mainly got it
Yeah.
at the time in their 30s, but he had it as a kid. He had it as a kid. So he was sickly as a kid. So that kind of throws a monkey wrench in our Salieri theory if he had it as a kid. But whether rheumatic fever killed you or you got poisoned by arsenic, you're going to look and be sick the same way. And they spent a lot of time together. And that's documented. They would go to operas together. He would go to his house.
Mm.
His wife made offers at him in the movie, and he was stupid. I would have took that, But she made offers to make Mozart more popular.
Right.
She was doing it. Please make him big, like that's how big Salieri was. You got Mozart's wife saying, "Take me and make my husband popular. I'll give you myself." That dude, there's something wrong with that dude. I
But
would have
that's
been
based
like,
on the movie. We're not sure if that actually
yeah,
happened.
yeah. I think stuff like that happened though. You know what I mean? I think like people were like they were doing shit like that. But you're right. That's just my perverted mind. Um, okay. So where am I going with this now? Okay, so far we got sickness and we got Salieri. Let's bring in the Freemason.
Mm-hmm. This is what you're gonna have to explain.
Okay. Mozart, like many composers, men in high places, were Freemason. Not like entertainers today. These guys worked to get to be a 33-degree Freemason, and they studied the art of masonry. And he was respected by the Freemason. He was loved by them. He would write secret music for secret rituals for the Masonic rituals that they would do. Matter of fact, after he died, they paid for his funeral. The Freemasons paid for his funeral. So the problem started when he started to write the magic flute. Now, the libretto, which is the words and the themes and everything to an opera, was written by Emmanuel Schikan. This person wrote the libretto, and they were a Freemason and friends. So the thing that makes this believable is the magic flute was written for the people. It wasn't written for royalty. This is the first time in history in Vienna. I could be wrong. A professor from Harvard, don't ask check me on this, Dr. Gay, but I don't think anybody, I don't
Get
think
Dr. Gay to
anybody ever,
comment below. He's like,
Dr.
excuse me, Cheech.
Yeah. I'm just a metalhead who likes classical music. But basically, he wrote it for the people, the common man. Fanfare for the common man. He wrote it as well as royalty, but the royalty were like, wait, you're writing something about Freemason that only exceptional men and women could be in. No, not even women, men could be in, not the common man. They can't know this secret knowledge. So the storyline mirrors a Masonic um, intonation ceremony as the Mason enters into the craft from the darkness of ignorance to the light of wisdom. So he's teaching you that you're in darkness until you become a Freemason. Then you get light, and you get knowledge. And that's a key tenet in Freemason. And if you're just a regular peasant, you're like, oh my God, I didn't know that's what Freemason did. I'm learning, from darkness of ignorance to the light of wisdom. The elements of fire and water are shown in that opera like crazy. So
But
there's another
this is
symbol.
the magic flute.
This is the magic flute
So the
for the
Freemasons
people.
paid Mozart to do this.
No, Emperor Joseph, I guess, commissioned this, but he fought him on it. I could be wrong, but I think everything had to go through Emperor Joseph in Vienna.
Okay.
And the guy in the movie might have been that Freemason guy that I'm talking about. That was like, where is it? Where's the music? And he's like, it's in my noodle,
Mm.
So he wrote all this, and then the Queen of the Night, which is my favorite part of that um musical piece. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Like that
Yeah.
whole thing. Yeah, yeah. That represents irrational church and state of the time, and enlightens um an enlightenment. So he's kind of talking about like the church and the state of the time, and like it enlightens the high priest symbolism of a Masonic struggle for intellectual spiritual freedom. That's what
Mm.
that part represents. Then he brings in the goddess Isis and Osiris in a pyramid. And a pyramid is a reflection of knowledge to the Freemason, and that's giving mystery and rites. So he's giving away I don't know exactly what all this stuff means, but back then it meant something to the Freemason, and he's given knowledge to the average person. And now the Freemason are some stuff that I read were like the Freemason embraced it and it was fine. Others were like, no, you cannot do this. You cannot give away secrets in the magic flute because the common man is not intelligent enough. They're in darkness. They're ignorant. We're enlightened. We're illuminated. You can't illuminate them. They're peasants. That was the fight. Why are you doing an opera for the common man? Fanfare for the common man. You cannot do that. No way. So that sparked a problem with the Freemason to like, well, he's giving away knowledge. We don't care who this guy is. This is like a Tony Soprano thing. Like, you gotta go, you know? So that's where the Freemason come in. Now, this gets interesting. Um, there's also secret references to oaths of secrecy in the Masonic Lodge. This became a betrayal to the secret rites of Freemasonry. So there's certain oaths that they take that he's saying in the magic flute. He's giving these oaths away that these people are singing about. So he's adding more fuel to the fire, angering all of them. The magic flute was not only for royalty, it was for the people. So the theory is the Masons were so angry that they slowly had him poisoned to death because he gave away the secrets of Freemason. Once again, poisoned. That's the best way to kill somebody back then. You know what I mean? Let them suffer. They could have assassinated him, but they poisoned him.
Mhm.
Now, how do you feel about all this crazy shit I'm talking about
That,
with the
that's the
Freemason?
that
And
is
it's going to get
definitely.
worse.
Hmm?
It's,
Say
it,
again?
it gets worse. It gets worse. Other theories that the Freemason were connected to the Jesuits, the Illuminati, and the Catholic Church, and they all wanted him killed. They all had a connection from money or sponsorship through Freemason, and the secrets that he let out was the worst thing he could possibly do through his music. So add that fire to it. What you got the Jesuits, you got
Mhm.
the Illuminati, and you have the church, all on the Freemason side because there's financial gain with Freemason. And the Jesuits were pretty strong at that time. You know what I mean? So what do you think about this theory?
So the Jesuits, I would say take that one off. I could see why, because there's an element of like
The
anti-Catholic
Jesuits?
church, but the Jesuits were fighting more the
Yeah,
Reformation. Like more, and they
yeah,
were busy with the New World, kind of. So Freemasons makes the most sense because, especially if
yeah.
Mozart was
Well,
really.
well, no, it's a Freemason, but they're backed by people with money. They're backed by the Illuminati, which existed back then. The real Illuminati, not this bullshit now that's going on. There was Illuminati back
No, no,
then,
no. I'm saying like they
and then
probably killed Mozart, not the Jesuits. Jesuits at that time were concerned with the New World, but also even if Mozart, and again, it was already anti-church stuff. Mozart probably would have been subject to the Inquisition, any Inquisitions if they still existed. But the Jesuits were actually busy fighting like, anti-Catholic theology. They would probably not really you can take them off the table. I think it's more Freemasons and Illuminati high members, and they
yeah,
if that's true, and
right.
especially with
But the
Mozart.
proof is in the magic flute. He's giving away secrets
Well,
to
that's
the
Mozart's
common
like
man.
anti-establishment. Like he's saying, I don't. But then I'm thinking, why would Mozart do that though? Like why? Unless
I,
why?
That's another mystery. Why would you put secrets inside the magic
That's more
flute?
like when we talk about like the performances and unleashing Satan on the world. Yeah, you
Yeah.
say, are they really? Or I'm saying like maybe, but what is the purpose of this, right? Kind of like a little tangled web there. Um, Jesuits, and again, the Jesuit order at that time, they wouldn't kill Mozart. If they did, they would hold an inquisition.
Right, right,
If
right.
they did. And it makes sense at that time. There's a lot of anti-Catholic subliminal messaging.
But the way I read it was there was financial gain in the Catholic Church backing the Freemason through the Illuminati. It's like groups upon groups that are connected to the Freemason. Even the church, that this one thing that I found from a book that I had, that
I would push
the
against.
Illuminati.
I would push against that. See, the Illuminati and
Oh,
Freemasons were
okay.
created because of the Catholic Church control, so they had to meet in secret. So
Right, right,
when
right.
because
So
the
you're
idea,
saying the Catholic Church would be controlling the Illuminati.
no, not even. They were hidden. They were underground. And they had to be because at that time, church and state were tied together. So the Archduke,
Right,
like
right.
Austria, was Catholic. So if they suspected like
Yeah, yeah.
Freemasonic, now was Mozart again? What would have Mozart's purpose been to reveal the Freemasons? Um, get the knowledge out to the common people. That could be a possibility, against the chagrin of these people
Yeah.
saying, "What are you doing? This is secret knowledge." You know, but even then, it's kind of complicated because what would be the purpose of that? Like, what was Mozart's end game? Like,
So show a show. Have you ever seen the Magic Flute? It's
it's
insane.
weird.
It's like it's like
No, I
it's a
remember the movie
show,
tries to
you
explain
know.
it, and they're like, "Wait, what?" Like, and even like, you can't show that.
It- yeah, so it's different. So he's putting it out there for people to see. So are they getting it? And like I said, the ignorance of darkness leads to the intelligence of light. So you're showing the ignorant people that should stay in darkness, and you're illuminating them with knowledge, the light.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
And no, and that's
That's the key.
fascinating
That's
how
the
you
point
mentioned
of
the Catholic
everything.
Church part, which is because for me, when I could have been a historian in another lifetime. Like one of my expertise is like that this time period where the reason why
Yeah,
Freemasons existed and the Illuminati was because of the Catholic Church. Church and state were together. And so to discuss these ideas, they had to
yeah.
meet in
Well,
secret.
well, 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 that's what I said. I brought that up. That he talks about that
Right.
in the play,
Now
in
with
the
Mozart,
opera.
what was his end goal though? Like what exactly was he trying to do with that? Like let's say reveal the magic flute. Now, by the way, the common people are
Yeah.
not watching the magic flute as far as I'm concerned. No, it's more the rich people. You see, like what
No,
would have
but
been the
no,
point?
the common people were invited. It was done. It was like a free concert. No one had to pay. You could just go and see this, and
Yeah,
that pissed off that
I can
it
see that.
wasn't for the rich. It was for the common man to see. It's the first time probably in history that this
Right.
happened. So add that to the mix. Add the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, that people, the common man, are going to be able to be illuminated through Freemasons.
Hmm.
Uh, um, so I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, does it make sense to you, or is this just a crazy theory?
Definitely, that definitely sounds more conspiratorial. You know what I mean? In a fun way. Like, there's some
Yeah, yeah,
possible evidence to that. I would lean more on Salieri killing Mozart. I think that one makes the most
right,
sense for me.
right.
And I know it's gonna be controversial. We're gonna get a fact checker really mad at us, but I that one is the one that makes the most sense.
Dr. Gay's gonna.
Yo, Dr. Gay is gonna
I hope
comment,
Dr.
man.
Gay doesn't do it.
Yo, Dr. Gay is gonna be at your door.
Dr. Gay. You're gonna come to the temple. Yes, I watch your podcast, young
Can I
lad.
get 3 pounds of
You need to do
Black
your
Forest
homework
ham?
on Amadeus.
Also, I'm Dr. Gay, by the way. Oh, you're Dr. Gay.
Dr. Gay,
Hey, hey,
you don't
hey,
know shit
there's a
about
Dr.
Mozart.
Gay. There's a Dr. Gay here for you.
I know so much about Amadeus. Fucking Freemason killed him. Oh God. What are these guys talking about? The Freemasons. Salieri killed them. He's got all posters of fucking Amadeus and his,
Yo,
So
he has like books on like Salieri killing Mozart. He's like, "Grr, how dare you guys mention Illuminati? That's false. False."
he's got Salieri albums, signed.
He's got a poster.
Yeah.
He has an altar. He's like, Salieri,
Yeah.
we've done you wrong. We've done you
You
wrong.
want to be like, listen, we'll call him Benson, the gumball machine. Listen, Benson.
Salieri did not kill Mozart. It was the Freemasons and the subliminal messaging in the flute.
Listen, Benson. You have an autographed Salieri album. Where'd you get that? He didn't sign
Hey,
autographs back then.
hey, this is Salieri's. Where'd you get this, man? Duh, Salieri is God.
Fuck Mozart. Salieri rules. Um, Mozart fucked him over. So, I mean, my teacher, Dr. Rayburn, I questioned him all the time on this. And he said Salieri was a minor composer in Vienna who showed Mozart the ropes, and they had arguments, and Mozart took his star away. And the Freemason definitely killed Mozart because the messages were so powerful in the magic flute that it wasn't meant for people to see, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what my teacher, who's an expert on Mozart, told me. So is the real reason he might have died there was an epidemic of strep going on in 1790, and it was called Nepheritic syndrome. When he died, he had symptoms of this disease, and the number one symptom was swollen kidneys, and that's what they found in a lot of people who died of this disease. That's another theory that he died from a disease, not
No, and that would make
rheumatoid fever.
no, and that would make the most sense in terms of like biological, simple explanations.
Yeah,
Common
yeah,
sense as well. Evidence is high. In terms
yeah,
of like, let's say if
yeah.
you're a historian and you're looking at like the evidence, because again, there's no apart from that what you just said with Salieri's confession on his deathbed, but there's no really, you know, investigation
I mean, if you poison me with rat poison, my kidneys could swell up,
at the
right?
temple.
Yeah,
Yeah, be careful,
yeah,
those
you
guys
see
trying
me.
to poison you, man.
You know, but my kidneys. Who's to say your kidneys aren't swelling up because you're being fucking poisoned
Right.
by the Freemason or Salieri? You know, so we got to kind of make a decision. Is it sickness? Was he poisoned or murdered by Salieri or
And
the
geez, let me tell you,
Freemason?
which one are you leaning on? And we kind of discussed this. What do you think? Be honest. I know the Freemasons. That's my viewpoint. And like the Jesuits. I know the Jesuits could, especially with, especially with Malachi Martin, who ties in a lot of like this, like
God, yeah, oh, God,
um,
Malachi Martin,
yes, right. But what do you lean on?
The king of the exorcisms.
Oh, clearly, yeah.
Um, for years, I believed it was the Freemason. After I saw the movie, I thought it was Salieri. Then I went to college, and I remember taking the class, and my teacher saying it was a Freemason. Then I got into esoteric knowledge, and I studied Freemason stuff. Then about 15 years ago, I got a book, Who Killed Mozart? And it was all about the theories of the Freemason, and the book was about the magic flute. And I was convinced that the Freemason killed Amadeus because he let out secrets to the world
Well, and no, and that
that,
little connection, there's a lot of theories. Remember how we talked about these secret societies ruling the world, right? And then now there's more theories. We kind of talked about it, and I get a little connection to our esoteric hour
well,
episode.
let's think about it. Like what like they're doing now. Our last episode, we talked about Lady Gaga and her
Well, did you
rituals.
see that thing about Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell? Like, or they weren't ruled as suicides, but they were killed by these secret forces?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
But there's theories that they were trying to stop children from being trafficked into this
Right.
world.
Right. And actually, as an aside, there was a great interview with the actor of Jim Caviezel,
Yeah.
Passion of the Christ. And he says that there's a sort of like, evil Hydra force and that we're trying to cut to some tentacles, but it's like a huge, anybody that was willing to stand against this Hydra monster is going to get like attacked or. So my question is like, was Mozart, was maybe he a hero of the people, perhaps? Was he
Oh,
trying to,
think
and you
about this.
see that in the movie. He makes his play, and the people are like, that's vulgar. You can't do that. And he goes like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
And he's now understanding, right? Like he says, this is humanity. This is human.
Yeah. So the magic flute is real, you know. I mean, Marriage of Figaro is about a ghost. Um, or Don Giovanni. I get. Oh no, Don Giovanni's about the ghost. But so these are like, old tales. They were already stories, and he put music to it, you know.
Right.
Now, Magic
And I'm
Flute,
not gonna lie, it's a weird opera. Like a
it,
lot of
it,
it's weird. And when I
the
was watching
music,
the movie, I was like, what is this about? Like
the
what?
music is so amazing and
Oh no,
catchy. Oh my
100%.
God,
Yeah.
God, it's like I just love Don Giovanni with Don Giovanni. Like, I love that scene, like it's classic, But like those are regular operas. They, Don Giovanni, Marriage of Figaro, he's not putting out there any secret shit. Um, Puccini was not putting any secret things in his operas. That was pure Italian genius opera when he wrote it. Years later, I think Puccini was romantic period. Um, so, and I studied some opera, in college and stuff. Wasn't For some reason I wasn't a huge fan of Italian opera, and I'm like, until like my grandfather turned me on to Pavarotti, but I loved Amadeus's opera.
Mm.
Beethoven wrote an opera. I can't think of the name of it. It's pretty good actually. I like the German operas better than, I like the Italian operas, but like I don't want to get in trouble here, but I just find them more fascinating. I find Mozart's operas more fascinating.
Mm.
Maybe it caught me in a time in my life when
Mhm.
I was studying Mozart and
Right.
and Puccini, and who's the other famous Italian? I should be shot.
Oh man, dude, I hope that you're never, dude, at this point you're dead.
Who's the other famous Italian guy?
Pavarotti,
No,
uh,
and they're in the romantic. I don't even know what period it is. It's probably early romantic Puccini.
It's funny, me as being the educated as I am, some operas, you're right. I haven't been able to get into it. I just like I don't understand the point of it.
I mean,
Personally, no,
it,
no, it has art and style for sure.
yeah.
Especially like Andrea Bocelli. He's an operatic singer singing today.
Oh yeah, but
You know
he's
what I
not,
mean?
he's
No, no,
not
no.
right.
But
He's not doing
but
anything like they were back then. You know what I mean? Like
right,
he's just interpreting classic
right,
opera.
right, right, right. But
But
what I'm saying,
nobody like Pavarotti was fucking, Jimmy Page of opera.
right.
He's the Rush of opera. That
But
guy.
Mozart operas are unique, and I really got the movie showed me like that
Yeah.
uniqueness of them because I'm like I never really thought about that.
I'm on the Germans for the opera.
Germans have a lot.
That
Philosophy, literature, music. Wagner was German.
Bach, Vienna is not, Austria is kind of near Germany,
Mhm.
Um, so I and I only say this because I've studied Mozart more than I've studied Puccini. I've studied enough opera, but like I said, I didn't dig it. I dug it when my grandfather was like, "You play bass now, you love music, listen to Pavarotti," and I was just like, "How did he get his voice like that? How does this guy sing? This guy's genius." And and then I would look and that's why I say Puccini because I think Pavarotti did a lot of Puccini. So I got Puccini from my grandfather through Pavarotti, but it wasn't as cool as Mozart because
Mhm.
Mozart was that mystical. He was the art rock. He was the prog rock of opera.
Mhm.
And let's say the magic flute is like fucking. It's like ELP. It's like yes of
Mhm.
opera.
Mhm.
Blows away. I'm not gonna say it blows away Italian opera because I'll probably get shot when I go
Right.
outside. By Uncle Nunzio. You know, um, but I think at the time in my life when I was a kid and I saw Amadeus and I didn't understand. I heard music, um, but I I really resonated with Amadeus's operas because they were just different. They were cool. Did I freeze?
No, you're good. You're good. Um,
Okay. Okay.
do you want to like offer concluding thoughts, part one and part two tomorrow, another day?
No, no, I think this is where I am. This is all I got.
Okay.
You know, I want to come up with, like so what do you think? You're going back to the Salieri theory?
I mean, like I have to admit, like the movie is such an influence on me, but just also what you mentioned though, it is odd how why would you want to commit suicide? Like unless you're
Yeah.
guilty. Did you do something? Maybe he
Well,
was involved with the Freemasons, maybe in the plan?
no, no. Well, I mean, I can't say no. I mean, I can't, I don't know, but the thing is, Salieri reputation was at stake because this guy wrote a play. No, he wrote the play later, so that doesn't make sense. But people were talking about Salieri. Maybe he had something to do with it. And now he's older, he's all fucked up. Maybe people talking, he didn't want that reputation. I want to be known as a great composer. I don't want to be known as the guy who killed Mozart. Maybe that's why he killed himself. That's another. I mean, we could keep going on and on. This is like we did this with Ronnie DeFeo. We came up with a whole bunch of, Ronnie DeFeo, Salieri, it's all the same shit. But this is a true crime episode, really, in a
Hmm.
sense. And out of the three, you got the Freemason, you got Salieri, or nat or death. Let's just say death, natural death. And I don't mean natural, I mean disease, pestilence, whatever. It makes the most sense, and it would be boring just to end it with this, that he died from kidney failure, from rheumatic fever. That's how Mozart died. There's nothing exciting about his death. He just died. The Freemason were like, fuck it. You made a good opera. You put some of the secrets in there, made it more interesting. That's cool. Then he died. But that's boring.
Right,
We watched
right,
that movie too much.
right.
We love Salieri. He's the evil villain who poisoned him. tormented him with his father for a
Mhm.
requiem mass, made Mozart go mad. Is this true? Is this Hollywood? We don't know. I mean, the requiem mass thing, that I don't know. I'm so curious when you read that book if Dr. Gay brings up any of these things about Salieri and his death. Dr. Gay is going to say he died a natural death because it's not a mystery book.
Right, right.
He's going to say, but why did this guy write that play that Salieri killed him? That guy maybe found some proof, a document, something, and it took years, and it spread and it spread, and that's why people thought Salieri killed Mozart because back then, like, it took years to get news and information out, not like now. Imagine if they had, reels back then, if they had Instagram and shit, like you would know who killed Mozart right away.
Right, right.
So, we'll end it with I'm babbling now, but I'm trying to get to the point.
Mm.
Natural, the disease, Salieri, or the Freemason. So, Freemason, what do you say? No.
Freemason sounds to me very conspiratorial. It just sounds more complicated, more intriguing, because then, because at this time the Freemasons were large, they were looming. I mean, even there's theories that America's founding fathers were involved in Illuminati and Freemasonic
Well,
practices.
this is right after Revolutionary
Right.
War.
And they were going against the influence of the Catholic Church, and especially the influence of church and state, which
Yes.
was common. My only thing is, what was Mozart's goal here, though? Uh, what I understand, and obviously with my understanding in the movie and what I've read and studied, is he was a genius. He really created masterpieces that have stood the test of time. One, did he kill himself in terms of, like, his productivity? Possibly. The
I mean,
Salieri.
did he kill himself like Nietzsche? He went mad
Right,
and he got
right.
sick and
Now,
his
and
immune
imagine
system.
if you're that, and we just saw Jaco Pastorius and all these creatives just really kill themselves.
Yeah.
Um, Salieri is compelling. I mean, the suicide thing is strange, and I know most people are gonna be like,
And the confession. The confession.
right, and then most people are gonna be like, it's too complicated. There's no evidence. There's no investigation that ruled that he did this. But again, I mean, who's not to say that he slipped something in the food and activated his rheumatoid arthritis, his fever,
That's because he had a weak immune
and then
system.
he felt guilty to the point of suicide, knowing if he was a really Christian, that's gonna having someone's life that you're responsible. That guilt looms large.
Well, if it's true that Salieri, there's a scene in the movie where he's happy that his father dies. Father chokes on meat at dinner. And Salieri's like, finally, I could be a musician. So did he have a heart? You don't want your father to die. You'd be depressed, but he was finally now free to be a musician. So maybe deep down Salieri had an evil streak, a mean streak in him. And this is like, the whole thing about Salieri. He was an evil guy, and he said, fuck it, I'm jealous of him. I'm gonna fucking kill him. So I mean, I think he did die from some disease, but that disease was brought on from poison by either the Freemason or Salieri. So I'm gonna say Salieri did it.
Right. And I think you and I
Um,
are in agreement.
yeah. So I think Salieri did it, and that's just our theory, Cheech and Manny's theory about how Mozart died. Forget the movie, going back to facts, doing the research. Salieri did try to commit suicide. He confessed that he killed him.
Mhm.
Why would I confess on my deathbed? Oh, I killed somebody. Because you want to repent, you want to go to heaven. So the fact that Salieri confessed that he killed Mozart is proof that he killed Mozart.
Mm.
And that is factual. You can look that up anywhere. You could write to Dr. Gay about that. I'm
Dr.
curious to
Gay,
know.
Dr. Gay's gonna comment, man.
I wonder what year that book is from. 'Cause I'm curious to know.
So I think it's pretty old. I'll tell you right now. It's copyright 1999. So
Yeah, okay.
Dr. Gay was right in 1990.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. I mean, more facts have come out, more documents have come out since 1999 about Mozart's death. I think it is one of those things nobody will know for sure. It's all theories. Um, a lot of people might say, "Oh, you guys just watched the movie and you believe the movie." No, I did my research on Salieri. I really did, and I read books on him and stuff. And I had teachers that talked about Salieri in music school, and he did confess he killed him. So if he confessed it, he did it.
Right.
You know. So I guess that's our conclusion
That's our
of
conclusion.
of of our
And
of our.
conclusion is and sorry, Dr. Gay, but we think Salieri killed him.
Doctor, we're getting silly now.
Peter
We've
Gay.
been we,
I'm
we've
not
been
kid
at
you
this
not.
for like.
I kid you not. The author's name is Peter Gay.
People out there, we've been doing podcasts like 8 hours. This is like our eighth hour of podcast
Yeah,
in 2 days, you know?
crazy
Um,
man. Yeah. And
so
obviously, I feel like
and
this
there's so much information.
no, and I feel like this should be
What's
part
that?
one, and then like if new evidence arises or new thoughts, we'll just do a part two. And be like, all right.
Well, you might find out in Dr. Gay's book. I've read like
Hey, Cheech.
all the stuff I
So Cheech,
could
according to
on
Dr. Gay, he says Dr. Gay says it was the physicians.
where you free
All right, that's a sign.
the
Um,
physicians. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I'm freezing up. It's probably the Italians mad at me because I like German
eh,
opera.
dude, you pissed off
You
the
know,
dude. You pissed
my
off,
great grand,
dude. You pissed off
I,
Dr. Gay. You pissed off the Italians. Be careful, dude.
my great
They're gonna.
grandfather's like, "What's wrong with you?
It's Iran. It's Italian.
What's
Screw the Germans.
wrong with you? The Germans, they were the Nazis. You like the
Eh,
Nazis now?"
You
Like,
Nazi, you Nazi. No, granddad.
no, but
It's true
really,
though.
I'll take German opera over Italian opera. I'm sorry, but this is my personal view on it. But Dr. Gay has a point. Did the doctors kill him? I mean, how did the doctors kill him? His kidneys were swollen. How the fuck are you gonna like nowadays? If my kidneys were swollen, I'd go to the hospital.
Well,
They
apparently
would take the
they
inflammation out.
according to Dr. Gay, they bled him to death. No,
Oh,
I'm
they did the
kidding.
bleed.
No,
Yeah,
no, they
yeah,
did the bleeding thing or whatever. But
yeah.
um, but what's strange is um,
Which that comes up a lot, the bleeding thing.
mm,
So there's some facts to that when Mozart was dying, they did bleed him to
right,
death. So
right,
the doctors did have a point in killing him, but the doctors did not kill him. The doctors might have killed him, but he was being poisoned already.
right, by something or
Yeah. And the
right,
doctors was
right.
finally fucking were like, fuck, let's bleed him. Maybe he'll get better and his kidneys will go back down. And they killed the fucking genius,
Freaking
both of them.
doctors, man.
The doctors, Dr. Gay, you fuck.
Doctors and their leeches back then, man.
Oh God. Imagine being alive back then. No medicine.
Yo,
No,
and they brought the leeches. Yeah, we're gonna have to leech this out. I'm like, what? Get the hell! I'd rather just die.
if we went back in time in a time
Let me tell
machine,
you something scary. Dentistry back then. That
oh,
is frightening.
I don't even think they had
Dude,
Did they even
Yo,
have dentists back then?
dude,
It was
they
all.
did. It's horrific what they did because there's no anesthesia. I mean, the only thing maybe
Oh,
is morphine. If I don't know if I don't think they had.
no,
No,
not
yo, it
then.
is horrible,
They had
dude.
alcohol. They had drinks. You could,
Dude, I mean, maybe these physicians did kill a genius. Salieri. How about this? Here's my theory. Salieri poisoned him, and then he's like, "Damn, he's still alive." And then the doctors got they bleed him to death and they kill.
No, I think he was being poisoned by Salieri, and then the doctors didn't know that. They just thought it was
Right,
rheumatic fever.
right,
His kidneys swelled up. They tried to save him, but like Dr. Gay said, they did kill him. So Dr. Gay is right in one way. Dr. Gay is right, but the true murderer poisoned them, being Mason or Salieri. But we're
right,
going with Salieri because Salieri confessed that he killed Amadeus on his deathbed.
right.
When you now, I don't know if that's going to be in the book because he's probably gonna
Well, what
Salieri
doctor?
might not
So
even be mentioned.
let me tell you what Dr. Gay, Dr. Gates says. Mozart's terminal illness, however complicated by psychological malaise, was a physical disease, an attack of acute rheumatic fever. There has been as much controversy about Mozart's death, but scholars have arrived that it was the rheumatic fever. The disease was an occurrence on February 20, 1791. He went to
February
bed.
20. It's the 19th.
I'm sorry, November 20?
Oh, you said November? I thought you said February.
Sorry. I'm a mistake. November 20, 1791, he went to bed with painful swellings in his arms and legs, found it hard to move his limbs. He suffered fits of vomiting. 15 days later, his life was over. So rapid a slide from health to death was no rarity in Mozart's age. And again, he's due evidence that this was kind of normal. And he says here, uh, that Emperor Leopold II actually died some 3 months later after Mozart, and his physicians too bled him several times, bled him, uh, line crit, lining critic. So it was his physicians. They killed him.
Do me a favor. Does that book? The book has an index, right?
Most likely, yeah.
Could you look and see if Salieri is even mentioned in that book? He might not even be mentioned in that book.
He is. I haven't reached that part yet, but he is.
Just
Well,
in the
actually,
index.
no, actually, look at this.
If it has like more than 2 pages about Salieri, I'd be surprised.
No, it has to be in here. Well, I have to look at it. It's a great book. I just started it, but
You
maybe.
know, when you look at the index and it'll say go to page 9 and Salieri will be
Oh,
in.
yeah.
I'm curious to see how many pages Salieri is would be in.
Actually, no index notes. Actually,
No index notes?
no, it's a
Wow.
biography. But I should see something here. I don't know. I mean, I'll get back to you. Um,
Yeah, when you because I'm curious to see if Salieri is just like, oh, he welcomed him to Vienna and he took him into the opera house and he showed him how he ran the opera
Well,
house.
what I will say though, fascinating here. So Dr. Gay says here that uh, while many Freemasons, we talked about your idea, resigned from their lodges in the time of troubles, Mozart remained steadfast, attracted, it seems. We got to maybe revisit this by the Masonic ideals of humanness, reasonableness, and equality. His biographers have rightly objected to the widely accepted charge that he became. So there's a controversy. Did he become a Freemason? I think we got to revisit that. And the Salieri question, we will revisit because,
So Dr. Gay is throwing out the Freemason thing.
kind of, yeah.
Where did
Um,
Dr. Gay get? He's a Harvard dude. Where did he get his fucking information from, dude?
so
Everybody
apparently,
knows. Everybody knows Amadeus was in the Freemason. They all were. They all
yeah,
were Mason.
well, he is a Yale trained historian, I guess. Oh no, he taught at Yale. Um, yeah,
I want to debate Dr. Gay. If you're out there, I want to debate you about Mozart, dude. I'm gonna go on a rant right now. I'm gonna
uh,
debate your ass.
all right, folks, you heard it here first on the Cheech and Manny Show. Salieri killed him. I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Salieri killed him. And
it's
he
like
was
it's
a
like some
Freemason.
certain temple priest wants to poison you, because he's
And, no,
jealous.
they want to bleed us.
They want to bleed you. Yeah, you should come down here. I got a leash for you. What was that? Leech, I gotta bleed you to death.
I call up the sick line. I can't come in. Foodborne illness. No, I was being bled by my doctor last night because I have rheumatoid fever. I caught it from Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Oh my God. So I know we're tired. We've been at this for a long time tonight. So this is a good episode, man. You know, a lot of information from the Freemason to Salieri.
We threw in some Jesuits in there, you know.
You know, going back to the sickness, you know, who did this, and you had the book, which is great. That helped, you know, So let us know, people, if you are a Amadeus freak like we are in the movie.
Hmm.
Keep the movie in mind, but think about the facts that we
Right,
said. Do you
right,
think Salieri killed Amadeus,
right.
or take Dr. Gay's theory now? Did the doctors kill him by bleeding him to death too much? Uh,
We're gonna piss off certain people, man.
I'm telling you, Dr. Gay, man, you want to have a debate? I'll debate you, man. I don't care if you're taught at Yale. I got you.
I'm a temple worker who plays in Pottersfield VX. I got you.
I got you, man. I went to Westchester Conservatory. I know about fucking Amadeus, bro.
I got taught by Fletcher, you know. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready to
But
go.
man, this was good, man. I feel like it's a part one. It's not yet. But what
Yeah.
we got is
You know what? When you finish the book, we can
let me
do
revisit it. Yeah.
we'll
Let me come
revisit
back
this
to this idea.
topic.
Yeah, I'll tell you what exactly Dr. Gay says and
But he did bring up Freemason.
yeah,
So that's interesting. The fact he brought up Freemason, but you didn't read about Salieri yet. And if you don't read about Salieri, that's gonna point in a wrong direction for Dr. Gay.
I'm gonna watch out for if you mention Dr. Salieri, start taking notes. All right.
I know. But all right, on this note, I hope you people enjoyed our Amadeus free talk. True crime. It's right. This is a true
Oh
crime,
yeah, we opened the case files. Yeah.
and Salieri is the murderer of the great Amadeus, according to Cheech and Manny's
Mm-hmm.
theory.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're a bunch of prog rock heads, but we've watched that movie. We've read other books. Manny's reading Dr. Gay's books. That doesn't mean I think Dr. Gay is way off. I don't know. I think he's just going to talk about Mozart's life. I don't think anything esoteric or special
I'll
is
tell you
going to
what,
come up.
we're gonna revisit it. We'll do a part two to this free talk with
Yeah,
Mozart. So
and I'm going to look up Dr. Gay now after this episode and see, like, I want to see this guy. What does he know about Mozart? Is he a musician? Maybe he's a musician. He probably.
all right, man.
Anyway,
Cheech, bro, this was
so
fun, man.
a lot of fun. Let us know what you think. Thanks for Dr. Gay for the book, and reading and having Manny read the excerpts. And we're gonna revisit this, but as of now, we
Yeah.
feel that Mozart was killed by Dr. Gay. No, by Mozart was killed by Salieri.
Like Salieri,
But the
envy, jealousy, anger.
Yeah, but the doctors put
But
the
the doctors
final.
bled him to death.
Yeah. The doctors killed him, but Salieri poisoned him.
Right,
That makes sense. That
right,
makes much more sense than the Freemason,
right.
because that would be, so we'll rule out Freemason. We'll
For
we'll
now,
rule out,
for now.
yeah, any disease could have killed him, but he was definitely poisoned.
Mm,
He did have a weakened immune system as a kid. We know
mm,
that. So
mm,
anything could have whacked it out.
mm.
Anyway, great episode. Lots of information. We've had a long journey of episodes tonight that'll be out there, getting climbing up to 100, and we will see you soon. Nanu, Nanu.
Yep, and you are what you listen to. Thank you for watching. If you're still with us,
Yes.
like this video, subscribe to this channel, and leave
And
a
like
comment.
our Facebook channel we have
Oh,
now,
we
right?
have a page. I'll link it down in the description. Just
Yeah,
like our page and like spread the word. The Cheech
definitely.
and Manny Show.
Peace out. And
All right, brother.
read more books by Dr. Gay. You might be
Yeah,
enlightened.
yeah. Dr. Gay has a lot of good books, and you can take courses at Yale with Dr. Gay. So there we go.
Maybe with Skull and Bones. Who knows? All right, man. Peace out.
All right, brother.